Hi everyone, look who I'm with.
Hi.
We wanted to do the poll results really quick because polls are important. Because these votes actually matter, kind of. I don't know. This week we asked you to pick the weirdest looking mascot. We had Otto the Orange, the Stanford Tree. We also had the Fighting Pickles and Artie the Artichoke. And with 63%, it's a good majority. 63% of you said the Stanford Tree.
I voted for that one.
I know you did.
It was the worst one.
It was the worst one. Trees are not the greatest mascots, so we can understand that. 21% said Artie the Artichoke. I said the Artichoke. I think artichokes are weird.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird mascot.
It
didn't look weird, that was the thing. I think people went for the looks.
Yeah.
It was a weird mascot choice, but...
I'd rather eat it than have it my mascot.
Right. I did look it up, and it turns out the students had the chance to vote on a mascot name. And because they cut funding to everything but the football team, they took revenge, so... Don't cut the arts. Speaking of the arts, number 3, third place, 10% was the Fighting Pickles from UNC School of Acting, so... They don't even have sports. They just wanted a mascot, but that's a good mascot for them.
Yeah.
It looks good, at least.
For a team that doesn't have sports.
For a place that doesn't have a sports, it's pretty good. And for last place, God, I can't talk, 0.05% of the entire vote said Otto the Orange. Otto at least makes sense. You know, if you call yourself the Orange, the Syracuse Orange, you gotta have an orange.
Gotta have an actual orange.
Gotta have an actual orange. And plus, it rhymes too, Otto the Orange. So.
Yeah, that was kind of cute.
He's kind of cute. You know?
Like
he grows on you.
Yeah, he does.
Anyways, that's the poll results. We're just spending V-Day weekend together, so, we're gonna get back to our stuff.
Yep.
I got dinner planned, so... Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Remember, weekly polls every week starting Debate Monday. Check it out. Social media. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Back to the stuff. Hello, and welcome back to the Poorly Written Podcast. The only podcast where... what are you doing?
My business. That's what I'm doing.
Well, whatever I had for this, it's gone. I lost it. It was gonna be related to today, but, yeah.
Whose fault is that?
What?
He called you out for doing nothing.
Oh my god. Anyways, welcome to the show. We have Sarah and Indyah on. You two can say hi.
I mean, what's up? Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I think this is the first time I've been outnumbered on gender ratio.
Yo!
Maybe. I'll have to double check, but...
The plan is working!
Yes!
It went from me and just Mike to now me, Indyah and Sarah, so that we're moving around.
We gotta do that all girls episode soon.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Behind the scenes planning. You know the ringleader on that, so. Anyways, today's episode, if you didn't guess by the title, we are talking about the whole game Stonks saga that just happened. As we're recording this, it is the 5th of February. GameStop stock has gone down quite a bit. The peak was at 460. It's around, I think it was like around 80 or 60 bucks today. But we gotta talk about what happened because this is literally just meme stocks at this point. We're gonna talk about what the hell happened, what actually happened, like outside of like the world of the internet. We got the background going, and then we're gonna go into like what happens now. Before I start, everybody's familiar with what I'm talking with. Like, we know what happened, kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Ow. Sorry.
So, like,
it was actually it was sad and funny at the same time.
So, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how much do you know? 1 being, like, I just heard it. 10 being, I bought GameStop stock. And I'm now super rich.
I'm like at like a 3.
You can say 3.5. We'll do
I
halves.
had a 4 or 3. All I know is that, some average Joe Schmoes invested in some money, and all of a sudden they're cashing out. They're cashing out, and the rich people are kind of mad.
I understand it at like a 5, kind of what happened. Like,
Okay.
I understand the generalities of it. It's kind of sad and funny at the same time, though.
Okay, well, we got the background coming up first about this whole thing. I'm going to kind of break it down into 3 parts. We're going to talk about Wall Street and hedge funds first. Then we're doing GameStop. And then we're talking about Wall Street bets on Reddit. So let me start with the background of Wall Street and the hedge funds. So there's this thing. Now, mind you, I'm not an expert in this. I'm literally just read up and watched videos on what any of this means. So the hedge fund decided to buy speculation stock. And what that means is that when they buy like a speculation, it means that they're pretty much putting a bet on a company to go up in stock or down in stock. So generally when this happens, they go and borrow stock within that company. They buy it at a super high price. People start selling, and then when it's down low, then they sell that, and then they keep the money. I think the one analogy I saw, it's like, I give my friend, so this Pokemon card is worth like $10 or whatever. Or I know it's going to be worth $10. Or it is $10. I buy it from them. It goes down to 2. I sell it. I get 8. I keep 8. I give 2 to my friend for borrowing it. So it's not even like their stocks or anything. You see where the foundation of issues might show up? They're playing with things that aren't even theirs.
Yeah.
Like people's money that isn't even theirs. So they were hoping GameStop would go from like $2. Like earlier last year, this is some other background too. People on the internet were figuring out that GameStop was being sold short as a stock as a whole. So it was like $2 last year. Like last summer, it was like $2 a share. So a lot of people were buying like lots of shares and stuff. What happened is that this hedge fund saw that it was going up to $4, but they know GameStop has been hit hard by the pandemic. So they were buying up GameStop stock and into speculation that it was going to go down. And that's how they make like a lot of money. Like they make billions of dollars on driving companies into the ground. But what happened instead is that the Reddit of Wall Street Bets, the subreddit page, knew that GameStop was severely undervalued in the market. It shouldn't be as low as it is in the first place. So what happened is they all just went in and they bought the stock. And the thing is that once the meme ball like it's an actual ball I could just hold of just ancient memes and stuff or whatever. Once that ball got rolling, the stock went up. Like it went up to like, the 100, the 200. It got all the way up to $460. And mind you, like 2 weeks ago, it was like $4. I don't know. My graph is bad. I'm gonna have to edit that in, like a little arrow going. If I don't make any sense, just tell me. Tell me, Zach. I'm trying to explain this as simply as possible, and especially for people who are listening to the audio only that can't see me do my hand gestures.
Are you okay, Indyah?
Yeah, it's...
This is like the most boring part of this whole episode right now.
Numbers, I failed math 3 times. And on my 4th time I passed.
You did pass. You passed in the end, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
So
the only reason I laughed is how you said it, and I have the visual of your face, like when you were saying.
I'm like,
I wasn't laughing at that.
this is a lot of, even for me, my brain is like on the fritz right now. Like this, the earpieces are keeping the smoke in before you see it come out, so like it's steaming a little bit. But basically what GameStop did was cause a short squeeze, which basically means a lot of people go in, buy the stock, drive up the price, and then they sell at a high point. which is something that hedge funds have been doing for years. They literally go in, they buy a lot of stock low, and then they buy the speculation that it would go up. But instead, they were trying to pull the reverse, where it's like they get a lot of stock high, make it drop off, and then they keep the money. But what ended up happening is that a bunch of people on the internet, memesters, redditors, like people with money, just kept buying and buying and buying, and it kept going up and up and up. And well, I feel like it's almost, I don't want to say it's safe to say, but I feel like the whole situation is over. I mean, GameStop has been going down. I mean, there's a whole thing with Robinhood restricting trade to the point where it's like nobody was allowed to buy any more GameStop stock, and like a bunch of other stocks too, like AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia. They even blocked the sales of Dogecoin, which is a cryptocurrency based on the popular meme Doge. There's a lot of things.
Heard about
Dogecoin. I think I actually have. What?
I don't know the meme.
You don't know the Doge meme?
No?
Sarah,
should I?
Yes, you should. It's a classic internet meme.
I don't really do memes.
Wow. Much coin. Like, I'm going to send you some Doge memes after this. I'm disappointed in your sense of humor. This is prime internet meme humor.
Yay? I'm sure it's funny. I just don't know it.
I'll have to send some memes after recording. Indyah, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Nope.
You know what the Doge meme is?
Nope.
It's the one dog.
Nothing's the matter. Oh my god. I want a new family.
Sarah, I'm the one that usually gets the noise complaints around here, so the fact that Sarah's getting the noise complaint right now, I feel good.
I mean, my mom jokingly said before we started we should just have my dad come and explain it all.
Yeah, I tried to explain it. There was no jokes about it. It's all very boring financial mumbo jumbo and jargon and blah, blah, blah.
After the episode, I'll ask him to explain it, and I'll tell you if he cracks the joke.
There's nothing funny about
Sarah's
that.
dad knew everything.
That's what
He's a Russian spy.
Corporate.
I know, but like literally anything about everything, he just like knows about it.
He's
like
Russian
he's like a secret
spy.
celebrity. Like he just knows.
We're talking about how you know everything.
He's got to. He's an international man of mystery.
Like,
literally.
on this podcast, we let
Oh, don't invite him on. Leave him alone. I'm sure he has important things to do, like, you know,
laughing at us.
go bully your sister.
He's a businessman. He got things to do.
He's an important man. He's got things to do. He's got the meeting, you know, wink, wink.
I only have, 48 hours to figure out who I'm rooting for.
He hasn't chosen yet.
He hasn't chosen his team. We talked about this in the Super Bowl episode, and me and Mike both picked the Chiefs. So I'm hoping at this point,
Chiefs gang.
I'm hoping the Chiefs win by the time this episode comes out. Otherwise, we're gonna look like idiots for betting against Tom Brady.
Yeah, we are gonna look stupid. It doesn't matter. Travis Kelce, I love you. Hit me up.
I think I'm probably gonna end up on
And there's Cyrus. Makes a
Cyrus.
quick cameo. We were supposed to do a face reveal when we hit 1,000 subscribers. What are you doing, Sarah? Someone's gonna pause it and be like, "There's his face."
I had a tail in my face. We're fine.
back,
Wait a minute.
we're
Anyways, Dogecoin.
Dogecoin. They restricted a bunch of things, and people were like, "Hey, Robinhood, that's not cool. That's market manipulation." Which, by them preventing you from buying and only selling, caused the price to drop dramatically. And then the days after, they limited how much you could buy. Like at one point, you can only buy like 2 stocks in GameStop. There was a lot of mumbo jumbo. But the memes about it, the stock market, like GameStop, stock market, Wall Street, they were all trending for days on Twitter.
Mhm.
Kid you not, I go on Twitter and it's like, I'm like, why the hell is Wall Street trending? Are they fucking tanking again? Is the economy collapsing once again? No, just a bunch of Redditors doing what
The
they do
economy-
I
best.
think that just
Crash this year. So it's just gonna crash on top of a crash.
Why?
that just goes to show you how much that like the economy affects us and like how much capitalism affects us. People don't really pay a lot of attention to it until they see people like gaining a lot of money quick.
Mm-hmm.
That was really fast how that entire thing happened.
I think one person pulled out at like $350. Like I went through and I stalked the subreddit just to see what's going on. Some dude put in his life savings, which was he put in his life savings, which wasn't a lot, and he became a millionaire basically overnight.
Vibing.
Like millionaire. Like he put in his life savings, which wasn't a lot at that point, but he's like fuck it, I'm gonna just put it in. He became a millionaire. There's people who are posting like, I put in, $500. I bought $500 of stock at like $4 a piece. Now they have like 20,000, 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. I mean, there were some people who were obviously rich before and now they just became a lot more richer. Like one person bought, bragging on Twitter, they bought like $56,000 worth of GameStop stock and they made like $11 million off it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you were already rich.
Yeah.
We're looking for the actual broke ass boys
Yeah.
and girls who went on. And
There's some people that like, there was people that like, it wasn't even like, it didn't even hurt their pockets. It was like pennies to them, putting up $500, $600, $700. Like, oh, that's cheap change, and then they're getting a huge return on it, which is crazy.
See, if I knew what was going on beforehand, I think everybody would have been like, yeah, if I knew what was going to happen, I would have put in a lot more money, but...
Of course, but I was also scared because I'm cheap. I'm Mr. Krabs. I'm scared of losing money. I like to see what's gonna go down first before I invest anything, or before I even think about investing anything. I'm like, I'm gonna see how it affects you guys and see if this shit crashes before I put in my own coins, because I'm still a broke, poor college student.
Do you know what's a good saying and my mom says about me, because I'm also cheap. My mom says George Washington cries when I open my wallet.
JW.
Yeah, the stock market's tricky. The only experience I have was like my 9th birthday. I invested because that's what every 9-year-old does. That's what every 9-year-old wants.
No, I'm pretty sure when I was
Forget
9,
Hannah Montana. I'm investing in the stock.
Yes,
I was playing the GameCube and Mario Double Dash. I was not investing in the stock market.
So what I did,
I had a little Game Boy Advance.
I really
watching Hannah Montana on my game.
I really liked Apple at the time. I still do. I'm an Apple user, and so I invested money in Apple, and I really liked Wendy's. Wendy's was my fast food choice of chain, even though I mostly eat at McDonald's, if I'm being real. And so I invested in them, and they both went up, and then it helped pay for college, and that was my experience with the stock market. And then I tapped out because I got very nervous as I got older about the implications. I was like, I'm gonna hold my money.
You gotta hold the money. I think I tried using Robinhood a few years ago when I was in college and just see if a penny stock went off, and it never did. But the thing about like these like commission free apps is like they give you free stock too, so like I technically made $5, but it wasn't enough to it was dumb. But the interesting thing is that I'm gonna give Justin a shout out. Justin from the Generation Zen podcast. He was the one that's like, you should get back into stock market stuff. And I'm like, why? Because literally anytime I put money into stock market, it floats away. And he's like, nah, man, we got a group going of like people who know shit. And I've actually, it's just the funniest thing because I'm watching some of these trends and stuff. Some of the shit is just crazy, but the stock market is not to be taken lightly when you go and invest it. But the fact that you literally cause a hedge fund to almost go broke, like completely bankrupt, I think it says a lot about what people can do when you put a collective effort together.
Yeah, no, I agree. It shines a light on the systems we have at play for finance too, which is interesting because we always talk about economics, but then to see it kind of actually go into play is always something fun.
From what I understood, every
Fun.
major what I
Not like
under
fun, but interesting. I'm done now.
You done now? We always do this too. We're like recording and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Once again, for the audio listeners, I just hit my fists together, butting heads.
That's some ASMR.
That's some ASMR. It's a metaphor. Jeez, I wonder what it is. Let's get back to the other background stuff. GameStop has not released any statement about what's going on still. They did not say anything. We don't know if the big higher ups did anything. They knew what was going on, but they just haven't said anything. And the other
money, they don't gotta say nothing.
They probably made they're just sipping like martinis out of a golden glass and they're oh yeah, I guess we should
I
say
was
something.
A millionaire in a day.
COVID, I'd be going on a vacation.
Kardashian, who they're making bank.
No, I don't know a Kardashian. But then the other thing too, the other thing too is Wall Street Bets. Their subreddit literally grew from I think it was 100,000 to 8 million users in one subreddit over the course of this whole thing. It was a pretty low 6-figure number, and then they jumped to 8 million, and they were the most trending subreddit on Reddit for I think it was 4 days straight. I think they're still number one because I think there's a bit of a prospect if you go there, you're gonna find short squeezes and stuff, which isn't true because it's kind of weird to say, but I don't think there's going to be another GameStop stock incident like this.
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a once in a lifetime type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be other squeezes too. There's going to be other people who are all right, we're all going
to
go
other companies and stuff, but I highly doubt that that's going to happen with GameStop, since we saw how they were hurting economically and financially. They were really hurting, and they were really kind of in a hole,
GameStop's in a bit of trouble. Maybe this helped them out just enough. The other thing too is that a lot of these people, part of the subreddit originally, now they're like, oh, wait a minute. Now we got all this attention on us, and some of these people, let's just say some of these people have gone into hiding soon after this whole thing. I know they talked to the.
I've gone hiding too.
I know there was one person, I think the Washington Post interviewed the one guy who came out publicly about it and stuff. I know there's a few others. The LA Times were really looking for people to interview who had GameStop stock. And then there was a college student who donated a whole bunch of Nintendo Switches and games and stuff to the Minnesota Children's Hospital. Literally these people, you go in, and this is during the whole high part of the whole GameStop thing when it was climbing up to the $400 range. People were cashing out, and they're like, oh, well, I get one person was like, I get to pay the vet bill so I could save my dog. Another person's like, oh my God, I can actually afford to help pay rent for some people. Some people bought food for food shelters and food pantries and stuff. I mean, there was some selfishness, but there was a lot of selflessness. I had to really think hard about that word. I'm sorry, but a lot of like people were like, "Yeah, look how much money I got," and then there was other people like, "Hey, look what I did for the children's hospital." So the subreddit was very mixed, like people bragging, people ego boosting, but then there was people like, "Oh, I'm doing this." Like one person wrote like it was a 50 grand check after the profits of GameStop stock to their local children's hospital for research for childhood cancers and stuff like that. So there was a lot going on in that subreddit. But I guess all eyes are on it right now. Even Mark Cuban went on and then he did like he did an he did an AMA. Oh my god, I can't talk. AMA, which is short for Ask Me Anything, within the subreddit.
What's an AMA?
Yeah. Ask me anything. Then like the subreddit.
Oh,
AMA. Ask Me Anything. It's a popular thing they do on Reddit, but they were doing one just exclusively with Mark Cuban in the Wall Street Bets subreddit.
Next financial episode will teach you what IPO means.
The next time we do a financial episode, I don't know where this podcast will be.
I'll just do it. It's initial public offering.
If I have to explain any more Wall Street investing, financing terms or whatever, you're gonna just see my head just kind of go. The smoke is just gonna come out the front. It's gonna come out the nose first, and then.
Next time we'll finally put the Russian spy on camera. He'll explain it, and then he'll dip out.
We'll do like the deep fake video or whatever. Like we cover his face in like pure darkness and then deepen his voice. I mean, it will be great. But we're gonna move on. We gotta move on to this next part. There's all this stuff that was going on around it, like the memes, obviously. There was a brief moment where, like, AOC and Ted Cruz were on the same page until AOC put him back in his place.
Yeah, she had to let him know. She was like, yeah, this is still good. By the way, I think you should still retire, bitch. She didn't say that, but I added the bitch part. But, that's just how I feel. You gotta let people know. Just because, like, we have kind of the same views doesn't mean that I forgot what the hell you did and what you said about me. Ho.
Exactly. That was, like, a really weird moment, and then she came on, and she's like, resign, because I'm not working with you on this. I don't blame her.
Period.
Literally, the whole month of January was absolutely nuts between, like, the coup attempt and then now the stock markets and all the stuff in between.
It was a lot.
The switching of administrations, the fall of QAnon. I mean, that's...
We had, like, an insurrection, things with the stock market, a new president being sworn in. We have a whole lot of things happening in just 1 month.
Yep. We have been trying to unify the country for years, and we finally did it with GameStop.
Gotta rally the country somewhere.
And then you kind of realize who the rallying people were, and you're like, the GIF of Homer Simpson going into the bushes. Like, oh wait, I agree. Ted Cruz and AOC agree. Yeah, anyways, exactly that.
They didn't agree for long.
It was Ted Cruz after AOC told him to resign.
Yeah, Ted Cruz is a bitch, so we need to make that is a publicly known fact. That's not an opinion. Publicly known fact. Ted Cruz is a bitch. If you insult him to his face, if you insult him to his face for a long enough time, make fun of his wife, tell him that his dad was part of the JFK assassination, he'll kiss your feet. We've seen that happen.
Did you see like the beef between him and Seth Rogen?
I love that beef so much. It's a great beef because Seth Rogen is the Canadian stoner. He's like, look at me, guys. I'm making my faces. I'm making vases.
Look at my pottery. Isn't this so pretty?
Look
Ted
at
Cruz, you fucking bitch, shut the fuck up. Look at my pottery, guys.
Look at my
This is
pottery.
amazing, Ted Cruz, you son of a bitch. You fuck this country in every single way possible. But anyways, the color of this ashtray is phenomenal.
All right, guys.
That's literally Seth Rogen.
This is what I made today. Your daily promotion is fuck Ted Cruz. He's a fascist. He deserves
Basically.
every single day. Seth Rogen wakes up and chooses to bully Ted Cruz, and I can respect that.
Yeah, he chooses violence. And he doesn't even have to. He just does it for fun.
See, he's just the ultimate laid back guy. He's like, I'm not gonna let anything bug me, but I can't let fascists run around free and not be disturbed. I gotta bully them.
Yeah.
Is it really bullying if
Yeah,
is it really bullying if you're doing it to Ted Cruz though? He kind of deserves all of it.
Deserves to be bullied.
He makes
Ted Cruz deserves.
it's-
I mean, there's a lot of people on my list that deserve to be bullied, and it's Ted Cruz, Ben Shapiro, and a list of other people that deserved every single piece of shit that they get.
Even though I disagree with him, I don't have the confidence to bully anyone.
Oh,
I'll just,
it's
look
really
through the
simple.
tweets and
You just say the shit that you're thinking to their face.
I mean, it gets me to a certain point. Like, I'm an overall nice person, and then after a couple times, I stand back, I look at you, and I'm like, somebody needs to tell that person. And then I wait for you to get on your high horse, and that's when I come in and I take my size 10 and Spartan kick you down to your fucking piece of shithole that you deserve to be in.
See, I wish I could feel like that because I feel that way about some of these people, and then I just remember I kind of have, in a way, a very meek personality when it comes to conflict.
Right.
And then I'm just like I want to, but you know
Sarah,
that,
Sarah, if conflict isn't in your nature, you could just say it.
I like funny.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's fine.
I'll fight for you.
I like
Just
funny.
point and I'll shoot. Point, shoot.
I would have
Do it.
I would really get into it, and it wouldn't be like I like funny conflict, but serious conflict. I like to do it, but I like to do it in a very calm manner that would spark a debate. Then I realized,
Yeah, like in a controlled setting.
then I realized you can't debate with some of these people. It's
You
just
can't.
they won't listen to the reason, and then I feel like I'm wasting my time, and I'm just yelling at a wall. And
Don't waste your time debating. Just tell them that they like being tied up and pegged.
what does that mean?
It means Ben Shapiro likes being
King
tied up
shaming,
and pegged.
Zach.
I don't know what that means.
Don't king shame over here.
I know, but it's Ben Shapiro.
Someone text me what that means later. I don't
We
know
have
what
a
that
child.
Oh my god!
Don't explain it.
Sarah!
Don't explain it now. If you don't know what it means, I'm not gonna explain it now because I like to keep the show where its rating is, which is just barely.
9 years old, but what is pegging me?
the fact that I've never had a boyfriend help with that scenario.
You know what? We're gonna have a talk later.
All right.
We're gonna have a talk.
Hey everyone, Zach here. We want to talk about our sponsor, Fine and Fresh Soap. Fine and Fresh makes their soap with all natural ingredients, including glycerin, which can help leave your skin nice and soft. Some of the scents include almond honey, lavender, and so much more. We're offering our listeners 15% off when you use the promo code PODCAST15 at checkout to get 15% off your purchase. Again, the code is PODCAST15. This offer runs all the way to the end of February, and we know February is not a very long month, so act fast. Link to the store is in the description down below, and now let's resume your podcast. There's this whole thing now where if any stock is doing particularly well in any day, everybody comments to the moon and they keep buying it now. So there's still a lot of memesters, but they're more disorganized than before. There was this one stock. It was the symbols for it is ZOM. It's not Zoom, the Zoom company for webcam stuff. It's a medical company. And people, it went up today to almost $2. Yesterday it was barely at $1, and now it's almost up to $2. And people were like, "All right, this is the next one. To the moon, to the moon, to the moon, to the moon." That's kind of an issue because a lot of these people, most of these people are just short-term investors. Everybody's looking for the pump and dump is what the term is, where it's like it's a short squeeze. You just go in when it's low, sell when it's high, and then let it fall. Because at that point, you've already made your money.
It's because the stock market is so unpredictable. So you should just get out while you can. Once it's like at its highest point and you sell, I think that's the best option because you don't want to be there for the downfall. You don't want to stick around for that because that's gonna hurt you so bad and you're gonna regret it.
And
the best way to describe it is like you're in Vegas. When you're on that winning streak, that's when you dip. You don't stay, so you know all the money you've earned.
Don't be greedy now.
Let's be smart about this. You've been on a hot streak. Why don't we just take the win and walk away? That's me. That's me when I go gambling or anything. Like at a casino, I'm like, all right, I made some money. This has been great. My bedtime was 5 minutes ago, and that for my wallet at least it was 5 minutes ago. So I'm gonna head back this way. But I hate gambling.
Get out.
I absolutely hate gambling, but the stock market's different in a sense where it's like you can make some serious money, and it's more of a solid way to make money than going to a casino and be like, yep, let me bet on bad sports teams to win today. Bad sports teams to win today.
Betting on the Chiefs. No, I'm kidding.
They're a good team. They're 14-2, Sarah.
I'm thinking about football. I just want because they said they were rooting for the Chiefs.
I guess the thing that there's a lot going on, and I guess Robinhood is being investigated by the SEC. So is the hedge funds and stuff. They're looking into market manipulation and all this. I mean, the memes are great. Don't get me wrong. The memes are fantastic. Excelente, but there's some serious consequences that are going to come down, and we don't know who it's going to be on. We know the government's going to look into it very soon. I think AOC is going to be leading that committee. She's part of that committee at least. They're going to look into it, and there's a chance Robinhood might not be an app by the end of this year.
One of the apps that I found because my dad put me onto it. It's called like Acorns. I don't know if anyone has heard of it. But like basically you just like you have it attached to your card or whatever, and whatever you spend, it just like rounds things up to the nearest dollar, and it invests that change into a separate account. And then you can kind of see, like, depending on your spending habits, you can kind of see how much you spend in a week, month, year, and long term. And you can see how much money that you could potentially be saving up. And I honestly think it's really cool. And they also have like those cool deals too, that if you shop at these places like Walmart or Applebee's or something like that, you get like 1% or 2% or something like that added on to your total. But I think that's... cool.
We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored by Acorns. But anyways, I'm just saying that that's what I've been using. And I have some like money. I mean, I'm not rich or nothing, but like I have something. So I kind of want to see where it goes. But I just think so, like little stuff like that is like steps you can take towards getting more money.
So like the difference between Acorns and Robinhood is Robinhood does the stock market. Like you can invest the money you want into it. Acorns just kind of takes things a little bit at a time. They put it into a separate account and they kind of save up your change, but it helps too. Mm-hmm. But the reason Robinhood in particular, I'm not sure about some of these other apps where it's like oh, commission free and broker free, you are your own broker or whatever. They're going to be looked into, but Robinhood I think is going to take the blunt of it all because they were the ones that are like, nope, we're not letting anybody buy. You can only sell. You can only get out. You can't get in. A lot of people were calling that market manipulation, which normally I try to keep on stuff I really don't know. I try to stay away from it, but like I'm like, if you purposely prevent anybody from buying stocks on your app, but then let everybody else can go and do it. That I think that's market manipulation.
Sir.
Good. I wish I had more to say, but I agree with you too.
I mean, I think that's plain and simple. I mean, they're gonna have to go through and do the boring federal stuff. Oh, government bureaucracy, isn't that fantastic? So I guess the question is now, what's next?
I don't think this is going to happen again. I don't think this specific scenario will happen again because yeah, you had the people who knew when to cash out, right, and made the millions. Then you also had some people who maybe did not know when to get off the ride. They probably lost some money doing this. So I think it will be harder to get people to do this again. I also think people are smarter because they saw how fast the GameStop stock went down. It went up real quick and it's now gone down within quick succession. So I don't think it's going to happen again. I think maybe occasionally you'll see a bump in a stock you weren't expecting, but I don't think you'll ever see it to the level. So I think now it's just going to be like, why now it's going to be a lot of Wall Street professionals kind of trying to see why this happened the way it did and trying to work out, and I'll probably try to prevent something like this from happening again. Probably what would be my guess. I think you'll have more apprehension from both.
I feel like the apps are going to come under some sort of scrutiny. Like, there's two sides to the coin. You either say, no, you can't use the apps that allow people to buy stocks. You can't do that. Or it's going to be like, no apps, you got to let them buy at all times unless there's something actually wrong with the stock. But then at that point, Wall Street will shut down the stock. Like GameStop dropped 30% in one day and they stopped buying and trading of the stock because it dropped so quick. So it's not like Wall Street doesn't have built-in precautions and stuff. Where it's like, hey, wait a minute, this stock just dropped like 30%. We're gonna stop it and make sure everything's all right. Or another thing where it's like it could jump like 30%. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait a minute, no. So it's not like there's not built-in precautions, but there's definitely gonna be some legality stuff to it. I mean, the fun's over.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to say. I guess the fun's over. Like, people made money, people lost money. It's whatever. Mark Cuban went around and basically told every finance cable channel, "Hey, stop sucking the dick of hedge fund managers. Power to the people or whatever." Mark Cuban was really standing the Wall Street bets. Like he's like these people outsmarted you at your own game. Just take the losses and move on. And he's a very smart businessman. So.
Yeah,
that just shows that just tells you that like anybody can do this. Like obviously businessmen are very smart people who are dedicated to the craft and they do that every day, but I guess they don't like when Joe Schmo puts in $100 and walks out with 1,000. They don't like that. They take offense to that because they see someone cashing out as quick and easy and they're like, wait a minute, how can you do that? I thought that was only for me. People are just so money hungry, and then you don't have to be a brainiac. You don't have to be somebody special in order to invest your money and do well with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're not mad about what they don't have. They're mad that someone else is getting something.
Yeah, they're mad. Because they have that money. It's not like they don't have it. They're just mad that someone else is doing the game just as well as they are. They're mad that someone else is able to do that. And it's like there's enough money in this world to go around, and you know how competitive this is. And why are you mad? I beat you at your own game.
Yeah, like stuff. Why are you jealous over someone getting something you essentially already have?
Exactly.
You're kind of a jerk.
Exactly. It's not even affecting you. The money's not coming out of your pocket, so why do you care?
Because
how's that going to affect your everyday life?
They're greedy. They're greedy money bags. That's what they are. They're mad that other people have money that should have been theirs, but it's not theirs now. It was the one billionaire that went on CNBC, and he said this like fair sharing concept is bullshit, and I'm like, really, dude? You're a billionaire, and it's bullshit that average Joe Schmo went and made some money today. When your advice is like invest in the stock market, this whole thing where it's like invest in the stock market, you'll make money, and everyone's like, bet, here you go, and the stock went up, and then they're like, no, not like that, not like that, not like that.
Yeah.
The fact that I love the billionaires crying on TV, on cable news. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just absolutely. The whole
Cry.
just cry. Billionaire tears. Here.
I drink rich people
Are
tears
they-
for breakfast.
Are they really salty? I hope they are. They better be, because some of them were really balling out. They're like, I can't believe people are doing this to me, and it's like, dude, you're rich, you're fine. You're gonna have more money than most of these people will ever have in their lifetime. The other thing too is like, I don't know how, like, I can't put myself in the mind of a billionaire. I just can't. To understand, to understand these people, not to be empathetic. I'm like, how can you think this way? And I'm like, well, for me, since I've always been a broke ass bitch, I just it doesn't click. Because I'm like, why should I be the only one who goes from broke ass bitch to rich ass bitch? Everyone should go to rich ass bitch.
We should just go to the billionaires and just the Rihanna song and sing like "Bitch Better Have My Money" to them now.
Oh, Sarah, I'm surprised you know that one.
Oh.
Love you,
Like,
Rihanna.
Jack.
I love you.
I like her song "SMM" and what was the other
so
one?
we
"Take a
know-
Bow."
So we know that one, but we don't know
Found Love.
the other.
Right, that's her. Right, we found love. That's Rihanna, right?
Sarah's so
That's-
conflicting.
Yes.
So I was going to talk about Dogecoin and all these other stocks that were talked about, but clearly that's not where we're going. Clearly the message here is we figured out how to play the game just as well as these billionaires, and it sounds like the rich money bags better start worrying.
Yeah, I think we
Could
covered our bases.
could 2021 be the year where we finally eat the rich? Or at least
Nah, we live in a
or at least the start of eating the rich, because like now we figured out how to play the game.
maybe that, but it's America, which is why I was like, in a perfect world, sure. In the actual real dumpster fire of a world we live in,
Well, here's the thing. I feel like we're at the point in the superhero movie where we figured out our true full power scale, and the bad guys are like, "Oh no, now they can actually play me one-on-one."
Are they just gonna call on Thanos and snap us?
I've snapped away half of these filthy peasants.
Bust.
I'm proud I knew he snapped them because I still haven't seen Avengers Endgame.
Oh my god.
Sarah.
Okay, so the episode is canceled. We're just gonna catch up,
Bye.
Sarah, and all the important things.
Bye.
I didn't. That was kidding. You. My God, that's it. That's the episode. We're done. Sarah, we got to go through some learning stuff with you. But thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you like this episode, let us know. Let us know on our social media accounts that you like this episode: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but also TikTok as well. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, because we need to get to that 1K face review of Cyrus. We need to get there. Not only that, we have a community Discord server, so you want to talk to us, we're on there. Come join the talk, like, we do parties, we do memes and stuff. We vibe in, like, but I just want to party
Doing
with
our
you.
vibe dance for those of you that are listening to the audio only.
We're doing the vibe dance. Yeah, and also check out our website, thepoorlywrittenpodcast.com. I think I covered everything. That's everything, right?
Yeah.
With that being said, that's going to be it for us today. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. I punched my headphones.
Thank
I
God.
do some Rihanna songs and I want credit.
Oh my God, Sarah, we need to
I
explain.
credit for like 3 songs.
I knew she's on my Spotify. Pops up.
Sarah, we need to explain pegging.
Okay, what's that?